What is good? We're back. I'm a little raspy, got a little cough, but we're rolling right through it. Got a Superflex Startup Tight End Premium Mock ready to roll.
It's rolling. You prematurely hit it. I can't even hit the draft sound.
I didn't prematurely hit it. That was by design, so it's already rolling when we're in there. So we got 30 seconds per pick. Superflex, 13 rounds. About to get into it. We've had so much changing in the landscape. We got Watson in the fold here. We'll see where he goes. We got Adams on a new team. We got Amari on a new team. We got Russell on a new team. We got what do you do with the Seahawks? So we got all sorts of fun stuff. Tommy's back. So we're going to see how that weighs out. This is a Patreon draft. We got our guys from a Patreon. You can go check out the Patreon at patreon.com/CFF Dynasty. You can grab some T-shirts at revelrybrewingcompany.com. Help your boys out. You can subscribe to the channel. We got all sorts of content coming up for you. We got Angelo from Angelo Analytics, or Analysis, rather. We got Troy King. We got Matt Waldman. We got Derek Brown all coming up for you in the next month or so. So definitely make sure you subscribe to that to catch all those shows. We're going to be doing mocks, rookie mocks, one quarterback mocks, all sorts of shit throughout this entire offseason. So saddle up and subscribe to your boys and let's keep it moving. So we are into this draft. We got Josh Allen going number 1. Tyreek obviously left Mahomes, so if you were already on the fence a little bit, Mahomes loses arguably his best weapon, definitely his most explosive weapon. So that seems like it's probably pretty standard. Then 1-2's Mahomes, 1-3's Jonathan Taylor, and then we're all red. Other than that, we got Herbert, Burrow, Murray, and Lamar up to date. No Watson. I think I would be throwing Watson in there probably after Joey B. I'd take him over Kyler and Lamar. He's back in there. Put all the other stuff aside. We're just talking football with Watson. He's a top 5 guy. He was a top 5 guy before he left, playing some of his best football, and now he's arguably surrounded in a much better situation. Maybe a suspension, who knows, but we're talking dynasty here. I think Watson almost immediately hops back into the top 5 conversation. But we're sticking with quarterbacks here. We got Dakota Prescott off the board, which after Kyler and Lamar, I can get down with that. When will Russell and Stafford go? And Trey Lance, we'll find out. But there goes Najee Harris at 1-9. So that's, we're right on pace. Nothing crazy yet, and we haven't seen our first receiver. I have a feeling here Scratch is gonna hit us off with at least one of those guys. Although he's a wild card. So
and there goes Deshaun at 110. I mean, say what you want about the guy, but they paid him a lot of money. He's gonna get suspended, but he'll be back playing. And are you going to put him on your fantasy team or not? And then when is it appropriate? I think that's a pretty good steal at the end of the first round.
If you're not paying for a lot of money and you don't want to put Deshaun Watson on your team because you want to ride the moral high ground, I'm not mad at you.
If you're not
but if you're playing for a lot of money, $250 to $2,000, like you got to go ahead and squash the white knighting and just you're not picking them up to babysit. You're picking them up to try to win here. So I think, Deshaun would go a little higher for me. There goes Jamar Chase. There goes Justin Jefferson. We got Kyle Pitts off the board. This is tight end premium, so Pitts could have certainly been in the mix earlier if you wanted to. He's certainly the focal point now if he wasn't before. But we shall see.
Downgrading QB, obviously.
Sure.
But they're probably going to, well, what do you think? They're going to take a quarterback in Atlanta?
I think if they do, it'll be, down the line here. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback.
Not at 9 or whatever, 10 or whatever they're at.
I guess they could. But I haven't really wrapped my head around the real draft just yet. I've been focusing.
The boys that moved the sticks, they said 25% chance.
25% chance?
They take a quarterback. Whereas 50% for the Panthers in front of them at like 8 or whatever.
Yeah. The first 10 or 15 picks definitely got more interesting as the offseason went on, whether or not there'll be a quarterback gone with some trading and whatnot and some movement. So there goes Swift. Arguably, RB 2, 3, 4, anywhere in there was where most people have him. There goes McCaffrey before Javonte Williams, so a little bit of a statement there. But, got McCaffrey in his own tier right below those guys, and he could certainly be right up in there if he gets in there and stays healthy. He's the best player in fantasy. So And there goes Trey Lance. So this is where we're starting to get to a hinge point. How do you feel about that? Do you love Trey? It seems like super early for unproven, but I mean, you got to roll the dice sometimes. And if he hits, he'll easily be in the first half of the first round from what we're thinking could happen. But I think I'm just gonna have to cross that bridge when we get there. I'm not sure I'm ready to pay that price.
Yeah, what do you guys think in the chat? Shout out to Mark and Jacob. Zach, what up?
We got Mark Andrews going off the board, so no sighting of Kelsey or Kittle yet. We got Mark Andrews, so he's the second tight end off the board. I certainly don't disagree with that. And there goes Trevor Lawrence. So the 1-1 and the 1-2 respectively in most Superflex drafts last year, already in the second round. So haven't really done anything with those two, and Lawrence had a potentially bad year in a lot of people's eyes and maybe a bust. I think just bad situation, toxic environment. Peterson's going to come in there. They're going to build a little bit of offensive line, I think, here, and already added some pieces, overpaid. A lot of people aren't super thrilled about Christian Kirk, but remember those Eagles receiving cores that they had? They weren't anything to write home about. And for Jacksonville, you got to overpay for free agents. Like Christian Kirk got paid way too much money, but you got to give Lawrence at least a chance. And big-time free agents probably don't want to go to Jacksonville, would you? I mean, so...
Not for a ton of money. Not unless it's for a ton of money, right?
I'd be buying Trevor Lawrence in leagues that are already established if the price isn't too crazy. 2.8 right there does seem a little rich, but I mean, could be awesome. And then we got Debo, and there goes Brees. So he's already up in the second round of Superflex drafts here. Then there goes A.J. Brown. So A.J. Brown, Debo over A.J. Brown. What do you think about that? Probably a little rich there. And then at second quarterback, there goes Stafford. So he was in that next tier I was talking about with Russell. So he's off the board. There goes Kelsey, Kittle. So two more tight ends right in a row. And you know what? I'm fine with Pitts and Andrews at this point, maybe going ahead of Kelsey at the age. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know, man. I can't. Kelsey just got a little bump, right? I don't know. Did he get a little bump or is it a downgrade?
I think he's probably. I mean, I don't know how much more of a bump he can get. Like he's already getting
he's bumping
targets. Yeah, so
he's bumped. I mean, he's just gonna keep doing that. So
right, but at 33,
yeah. I mean, it's the same as like a 26-year-old running back.
I guess
they're not going off the board yet. So well, there goes Eckler.
So there goes Kittle, and then Hawkinson.
If you can take Eckler, I can take Kelsey, I guess. But it's kind of.
I feel, yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of. I don't know what to do with Travis Kelce at this point. Beginning of third round, he's going to produce some nice fantasy points and tight end premium, but for how much longer?
Doesn't look like he's slowing down. It doesn't look like.
But when it happens, it's just going to happen.
It just happens. Fall off a cliff.
Hawkinson goes maybe a smidge too early for Hawk right there for me, and then
thought
Eckler.
That was Urban Bobcat for a second.
Right. Then there goes Eckler.
T.J. Hawkinson's cousin.
Tyreek Hill. So he's another one in this. There's been a lot of movement. He kind of drops down to 3.5 here. Is that I probably still have to take a good handful of guys before I'm taking Tyreek there, right?
Well, it's a bummer. We're not in this draft, so I can't pull up the list and see exactly
you're probably
who's
taking
left on the board.
Devontae, Cooper Kupp, Diggs, all those guys probably ahead of Tyreek right now, right? Diggs just got paid. He's hanging around
that's
now.
On your legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's and Russell just went right after him. So
right, he already had two quarterbacks, but it's Lawrence is a little bit of a question mark there. So
would you take Russell or Lawrence?
I'd probably take Russell.
Yeah, Russell moves up into the Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott tier, right?
I kind of have Lamar and Kyler, then a space, then Dak and Russell and Stafford kind of together.
Okay, and Deshaun with the
top
probably
four, with the top four, rounding out the top five.
And then, okay.
So there goes Darren Waller. Just getting good value on Waller right now. Hurt you a little bit last year. Still managed to have a decent amount of targets in the amount of games that he played. But there's I think some decent value to be had on Waller. Obviously, they bring in Devontae Adams, who can be a target hog. But I think Darren Waller is going to still get plenty of his. And if you watched any Raiders games, everybody in the whole stadium knew that it was going to Waller, so the whole team was just on Waller. Now, maybe, like you were saying earlier, does it get better or does it get worse? It feels like, it could middle out with Waller, like, hey, Maybe you're not quite getting the volume, which is why you want him in tight end premium, because the premium you want the volume. But I think he's still going to get plenty of volume. They're going to throw it over 630, 40 times. I think
McDaniels does love the tight end too.
I think he can get his and be fine and finally not be just smothered by the entire defense.
I mean, Derek Carr, turning out to be a fucking awesome asset.
I'm excited to see where Derek Carr falls in this.
Yeah.
There goes DK Metcalf. So a lot of questions about him. I don't quite know what to do with him. Obviously, just a physical specimen. And
him and A.J. Brown aren't going to be where they are for very much longer.
No, you think A.J. Brown's on the move?
Isn't that like he was trending on Twitter, and I clicked on a couple things, and it was just like a bunch of trade rumors.
Titans said malarkey
because they don't want to pay him, because nobody wants to. The good teams don't want to pay these wide receivers as much money as they're all getting now.
The Bills just did.
That's true. That was kind of what spurred it. Was like A.J. Brown seeing.
And I don't think it was the Packers didn't want to pay. They were down to pay.
They did. That was Devontae not wanting to pay. But
so there goes.
But the Chiefs.
So there goes Saquon. They tried to pay. They just didn't have enough. After Devontae got a big deal.
They had enough, man. You can find a fucking enough to keep the fucking best player on your goddamn team in town.
Big time guys said they couldn't find enough, so they tried to pay him a lot of money. He wanted to go, apparently.
So it wasn't about the money?
So there goes Saquon Barkley. It's 311. Of course it was about the money.
Okay.
They paid him more. So they paid him a ridiculous amount of money. But the Chiefs were still going to give him a decent amount of. It's like they were still going to pay him what he should be getting. The Dolphins just blew it out of the water. So there goes Saquon Barkley, 311. I'm still in on Saquon. I'm riding that trip around the sun one more time.
Doesn't feel fun.
I think it feels extremely fun.
Does it?
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it. This is awesome. I'll take that Barkley stab all day long. We know he's great. He just needs to be on the field, and you're good to go. I like the coaching transition there. I think that's
Barkley over Dalvin Cook.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Sure.
Barkley over Eckler.
Barkley or Tyreek?
Give me Saquon.
Saquon?
But Joe Mixon, if you want to throw, this four corners right here, that Barkley, Joe Mixon, Gibson, Dobbins, like if you really want to make a case for taking any of those guys over Barkley, I can't argue with you.
Wow. Jeez, that's real bad.
Yeah, thanks for that, buddy. Antonio Gibson got a little bit of a dagger. We thought McKissick was out of there, but he comes just slithering back in, just so slimy. Really thought you were going to get Gibson turning the page there, and then Dobbins we're hoping that what he's going to do is going to be worth that. And if he does what we think he's going to do with the opportunity that he's going to get on that team, he's probably going to end up being second or top back half of the first round kind of talent there. Diggs locked in with the Vikings, or with the Bills rather, for a long period of time. So that makes you feel good about that asset. There goes Devontae Adams.
Asset.
This is just I really like this portion of the draft where we're at here. I like
where the
all
worst
of these
pick
players.
is like DJ Moore and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And those are great. Those are good picks.
I don't quite know what to do with Dalvin Cook. So that that's probably
people are treating it like nothing. Like you
that's
don't need to do
probably
anything to do about it.
That's probably fine.
I guess
right
they docked
there.
him. They docked him a little bit.
Brees is
He
way
has
up there.
26.
We haven't seen any other rookies. We got Derrick Henry off
No
the
rookie
board.
court. No Malik Fields yet.
411.
Fields.
Henry,
Willis.
how do you feel about that?
I just don't. It's just not fun taking Derrick Henry or Saquon or Chubb. But at this point, the little triangle there at the edge there, the Kamara, Henry, Chubb. I think I want Kamara, and then I probably would take Chubb over Henry. Just a couple years.
Everything got worse around Kamara, though, right? I mean, I think Kamara will be fine, and he'll be,
It's more about longevity and style of play and being able to make it past
potential
this year
charge.
and not be dead.
Potential charge.
Potential charge.
Got rid of your left tackle, who's awesome. Got rid of your head coach. Got rid of your quarterback, and now you're bringing Jameis back in. I'm a little worried about Kamara. I love the talent.
You'd rather have Chubb with Deshaun over there?
I mean, I think I would almost rather have Kamara, but the situation doesn't sound that fun. But he'll probably be just fine and get fed. I mean, the guy who's in charge now has been around and knows, hey, let's just dump it down to Kamara here. in the D coordinator that took over for them. And then, so to keep this moving, we got Deontay Johnson going in the 5th round, Malik Willis then, the first rookie quarterback off the board. There goes Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Burks. Now they all come off the board in a matter of 1 round.
It's a rookie run.
It is a rookie run. I don't really know what to do with this Fields, Hurts, Roger tier of quarterback. I don't necessarily want to take him right there where you just had to take him in that 4th round. But, I mean, then now you're over here and you got another big run. It's Tua, Mac Jones, and Derek Carr. So, I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do, right? If you see all the quarterbacks flying off the board.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would rather pass on Fields and Rodgers. It feels okay, I guess, to take Hurts because it feels like you're going to get.
Feels like you're on a 1-year audition. The Eagles
Maybe.
literally just switched some shit around so they could have more capital moving forward. I mean, it was a good trade all around. I'm not really sure what the Saints were necessarily thinking there. But the Eagles just
what wide receivers are still out there? I mean, you got ETN. You could take one of those other guys, a non-quarterback that goes in the 5th round there with your 4th round pick, and then wait and take Derek Carr or Mac Jones or Tua Tagovailoa. I didn't think
Derek Carr. Yeah, all 3 of those guys. I didn't think any of those guys would be in the 5th round. I thought we'd be like 3 more rounds down before.
Well, look at all the red. You just got to get one.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Both Carr and Tua are both those guys' first ones. We have just one team with 3 quarterbacks.
Matt Cisco has 3 quarterbacks.
Trying to do Big Co.
Almost everybody's got 2. I shouldn't say that. Half's got 2. So, but yeah, I mean, you still got, now you're down to the Kirks and the Tannehills and the Zach Wilsons of the world.
I think I could pass on those 4th round quarterbacks.
Those are guys you want to be your 3rds, right?
Scoop a 5th round quarterback. And then, I mean, you're not going to get a good 3rd in this draft. There's a lot of quarterbacks gone. And that might be the case. Only a couple people are going to get a good 3rd. You don't necessarily need to force it, but at least it's not going to be.
Right. In this case, I wouldn't force a good 3rd. There is, other times where I would take the 3rd, but you got to adjust to what's going on. And I'm not going to be forced into taking a 2nd quarterback that I don't necessarily want, but you got to now start switching up your strategy of like, shit, it does suck to take. With all these other good skill positions on the team, but you probably do got to stab. Well, he didn't need one because he had 3, but you probably do need to take a Fields in the 4th or 5th round if this is kind of happening here.
That's what I'm saying is pass on Fields in the 4th and take Tua or Carr or Mac Jones in the 5th and get a better player there in the 4th than the quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
quarterback.
I think I'd rather take the shot on Fields than maybe those 3 guys. I don't know. I guess
so. You're fine with Fields in the 4th there.
You kind of know what you're getting with Carr at least, and I think I know what you're getting with Tua. We're not sure with Mac just yet, but Fields.
Do we know what we're gonna get with Carr? Because it seems like Carr's gonna have a career year and have a ton of fucking points. If Renfro's is gonna be fine, and Waller's gonna be fine, and Devontae's gonna eat,
you would think that he'll be a top 10 quarterback.
It has to be like a shoe-in.
No, it doesn't have to be a shoe-in, but I mean, he can still be pretty good.
Barring injury, I mean, I don't know what the Vegas odds are, but
all right. So we got Garrett Wilson, Dakota, Dallas Goedert, Cam Akers, Drake London,
Dakota
Burks.
Goedert.
Sounds like maybe he named something he would name his kid. I don't know. Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, Derek Carr, all in the 5th round. Kenny Walker rounds that out. Then Jerry Jeudy, ETN, Knox, which I think that's way too early for Knox, for me personally. Montgomery, perennially slept on, and Josh Jacobs, both going in the 6th round. Let's see here. ETN. We got Spiller then off the board. Elijah Moore off the board. Devonta Smith or Elijah Moore? I think I'm taking Elijah Moore.
I mean, I like the player Devonta Smith better.
Right. Me too. I like the.
And it's hard to argue for the situation of the Jets. Because most people you say, or Devonta Smith, I'll probably take the other guy that's in the same tier because the situation is probably better. But, I mean, still his boy Hurts, and he had a pretty damn good rookie year, so I could stick with him. I could stick with Devonta.
Yeah, I got to go Elijah Moore. It's just the way the Jets are focusing on him getting the ball and him doing what he can do.
Stuff.
with the ball in his hands in that system, like the Eagles are probably going to be pretty run first again. Smith just with the right guy, I would take Smith over Elijah Moore all day because I like the player more. But the situation currently, I definitely like Elijah Moore more.
It's not a lot to like about Elijah Moore's situation, but
except for that they schemed him the ball and they wanted to use him. That's the difference between those two players.
They have a Matt.
They put the ball in his hand, and when he was on the field, they made sure they got him the ball. That is not the case with Devonta Smith. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, and then I like what Rube did here. We were just kind of talking about quarterbacks. I think that's an even better move by not taking Tua, Mac, or Derek Carr, which I got you. I want Derek Carr out of all those guys right now for sure. But then he came and got Kirk Cousins, who is also always disrespected. But you got Mahomes as the one. So that's a nice two that you just picked up there in the 6th round. You didn't panic about having to get the second one while some people have 3. And you still rounded that position out fairly strongly. I like that.
In this type of draft where there's that much red on the top 6 rounds, to have Kirk as your second is pretty decent.
And then Houston just made a pick here. Similar deal, taking a Tannehill, not panicking. He had Dak as his first pick and then filled out the roster. He's kind of got a mix of everything. 2 running backs, a tight end, and 2 wide receivers so far. And then he follows up with Tannehill. And maybe you come back a little bit earlier and maybe you try to pick up a Matt Ryan in a few rounds just to make sure you're shored up. Maybe you go around early on Matt Ryan just to get yourself a nice third here.
Well, that's what these last 3 of the 4 teams have to do, because Las Flats has 1 quarterback, so does Zach, and then Vingo over there
takes
just took Mitch as his first one.
That edible's kicking in, huh, homie? He said around the 7th round that edible would probably kick in. There it is.
Pickett's already gone. Tannehill's gone. Who's left? Who's on your quarterback list?
Well, Riley Juker has he took 3 quarterbacks so far, but 2 of them are rookies. There's a chance that Willis may just have a redshirt year. There's a chance Pickett has a redshirt year, so he still may need a third starter for the season.
But at least he could trade one of them and get a guy.
In fairness, he is really young on the roster. He's got Taylor, he's got Brees, he's got Hawkinson, and he's got Spiller. So you're not in a rush necessarily to be like, hey, we got to win right now.
That's too many rookies, though, right?
I mean, it may be, it may not, it may not be. He's productive, struggling it, and
yeah.
It could certainly work out.
Brees,
In a year or two, it could be absolutely awesome.
Sure. And
so
if I take Malik, I can't take Pickett. I just want one of those. I can't take.
Right. I'm probably not going to take Pickett,
but
hey, you corner this market here. You try to fill out the rest of it with keeping in that theory of some young guys. You fill out the roster a little bit, and you're playing for mostly next year. If you know that going into it, that's okay. All right, so there goes. We're pretty much into the OG wide receiver territory here. We got Keenan Allen going off the board.
Mike Evans,
we got Nuke,
Hopkins,
Evans. So I kind of got all those guys in a tier to themselves. Nuke, Michael Thomas, Evans, Keenan, A-Rob,
Amari Cooper, or Jameson Williams.
Probably. I mean, I'm landing spot, son.
Okay. I'll drink.
If
wait, no, you didn't say draft capital. That's what.
If Jameson Williams, let's say the Chiefs draft Jameson Williams, people are going to go nuts.
Pour his beer on myself. I don't know that it'll last to 29. I think it was where the Chiefs picked.
Yeah.
My man's going sooner.
Maybe.
My man's going sooner.
No injury for sure, but kind of pushed down a little bit here. All right, so Mitchell Trubisky goes off the board. We got St. Brown.
What is Big D gonna do?
He'll be all right. Don't worry about Big D.
And scratch. What you doing, Zach? What you can't go into a Superflex. That's Michael Bauer territory. Going into a Superflex with not enough quarterbacks. At least Last Fats has Tua. At least he's got like a solid starter. I mean, Zach has Derek Carr.
He's got Carr.
So
yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Just let my man's draft play out. Damn, Jason. Now
I just should be freaking out, man.
Riley
I can't
Duker
do this super flex thing without some goddamn quarterbacks. I can't do it. I'm like, I just need to see some red on my team.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mills out there yet, which arguably had a better rookie campaign than some of those other guys. Baker's still out there. Matt Ryan. So
Matty Ice.
Come in here, you get Wentz or
so them boys took Clyde and Kareem Hunt instead of one of those guys, and
then Zach Wilson just went off the board, so he could have grabbed him instead of
that
Mitchell.
Was I don't know if your fourth running back or your second quarterback. You know, how do you feel about that?
I would
Matt Ryan.
I mean, it just depends on the situation you got yourself in. You
know?
Jerry Jeudy went in the 6th round. Is there any of those wide receivers? I think that's properly rated there. I mean, he could easily be the guy that we see in the 2nd round next year with the quickness. And being somebody that everybody
get down
wants.
With the quickness.
Jameson Williams or Jerry Jeudy?
I think you gotta take Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zeke in the 7th round. I think that's a nice
steal.
If you're gonna kind of play defense on running backs and maybe just get, if a really good value falls your way in those first 4 picks or so, maybe you grab one or two. But if you need a second and Zeke's hanging around in the 7th round, I mean, pre-injury last year looked fairly spry and good. They're going to give him the rock. Maybe you get you a little more Tony Pollard playing some slot receiver action possibly. Maybe move him around a little bit. Obviously, you're going to, we haven't really seen that from him, but all they did is pick up James Washington. They don't really have another receiver, and Gallup tore his ACL late in the season. So, maybe we're going to see a little Pollard movement around. Who knows? There we got Evans, Williams, Ayuk, Miles Sanders, Michael Carter. I think you take Michael Carter or Miles Sanders.
I mean, they're in the same tier together.
Yeah. I might take...
Probably have to take Miles Sanders, I guess.
Yeah.
You take the youth.
I probably...
The system...
Got to stick with Miles for one more year, I think, but I think so. But pretty good value on him right now.
I already took Saquon. Let me get Michael Carter.
You can... If the cards fall right, you could play this middle tier where we're at right here, 6, 7, 8, 9, into some decent running back points and really load up on other positions throughout the draft like Matt Sisko did here. He took three guys, and he's got Tyreek Hill anchoring it down, who will still be pretty good. I'm not really too worried, but he might not be as elite as you want him to be. But then he's got a tight end who crushed it once Ertz left, and they kind of transitioned their offense a little bit. And then he's got, Jacobs, Elliott, Sanders, guys that nobody necessarily loves but could score points if they're on the field. And then Tony Pollard to go with Zeke. So, I definitely don't hate that start of a build there. Jameis Winston goes, Gesicki goes. I want to talk Dalton Schultz. Is a guy that I would absolutely take Dalton Schultz over Dawson Knox 100 times out of 100. And Schultz, I think, is going to be, we were just talking about the Cowboys. What are they going to do? I think Schultz is, especially early in the season, just going to be a fucking Hoover. Just vacuuming shit up. What was the thing from The Office? The suck it? That's how the old boss got, or the old GM or whatever got rich. They patent the suck it.
I thought I'd seen all the offices, but I don't remember that.
But I do like where this is kind of going. I feel good. It's kind of right in line with where my tiers are. I might take Hollywood Brown over maybe some of these OG receivers. I feel like Hollywood's an okay value. And then here comes Mooney. That's right around where I got him slated. He could easily, there's a path to Mooney being a wide receiver 1 this season. Fuck what you heard. And there goes Cortland in the 10th. Mike Williams, Claypool, Juju. So Juju still has not a whole lot of respect on his name yet. Do you think there should be a little bit more? Should Juju be moving up?
Yeah, it couldn't have gotten any better for Juju. He just went to the Chiefs, and they got rid of Tyreek Hill. All they have is McCole Hardman.
Would you trade Juju?
Kelsey.
Would you swap Juju for Nuke?
If I needed to get a little younger, if I wasn't that great, but I think I'm fine with keeping Nuke there.
Yeah.
Nuke feels like he's a lot closer to being a great receiver than Juju is, but Juju should be coming right back around.
Juju's had a wide receiver 1 season, I'm pretty sure.
It was with Antonio Brown, like in his first season.
Whatever. You got Patrick Mahomes on a great offense now. Like how much better could it?
Well,
if it ain't gonna
it
happen for
was a
Juju
great
here,
offense.
it ain't gonna happen.
It was a great offense.
Still
Now they don't
fairly
have
young. I
Tyreek Hill.
think 25
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
pretty strong
That's what
there.
I was saying. Like, if I need the sure thing, I think I'm fine with Nuke.
I would
but
take Juju over Olave. I would take Juju over Claypool. There goes George Pickens.
It's hard to make an argument for
was maybe a
Claypool
little early
anymore.
there. Christian Watson has really got some respect on his name, huh? 10th round startup. What do you think about that?
Well, I can't see the list. Well, I can't do it over Tony. So that was a great pick there by Megatwan.
Renfro, Tony, double stack. I'm probably moving Renfro down a little bit more, but
You got to move him down some, but I feel like he's still going to get 10 points every week.
YOLO, son. Just get him.
He's going to get He's going to get 10 points every week, and he's going to score some touchdowns. Like Derek Carr is going to be MVP. Basically.
Apparently.
I don't know what the odds are, but you should place put $50 down for Derek Carr winning the MVP.
What do you think about Noah Fant? 9th round, Noah Fant.
Sucks. He sucks. He's the worst. Get rid of him, right? That's because he's not with Russell in Denver anymore. You know, it was like you read the trade. It was like Russell Wilson to Denver. What? Fuck yeah, let's go Noah Fant. If you're a Noah Fant lover,
I think
you're
I'm
like,
okay with,
but they traded him to Seattle.
I'll buy Noah Fant there. That's okay with me.
I gotta get a better guy, I guess. I mean, I like Noah Fant. I got to downgrade from love to like. He's still super young.
And we still don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be. And so, but I got Fant 9th, 10th round. I could be down with that, especially in premium. So there are quarterback guys. They took Daniel Jones and Mills here to round out their starting quarterback rotation.
They're like, Jesus, shut up, Jason, about this quarterback. I'll finally take one.
Has Matt Ryan gone off the board yet? He's still hanging around, huh? Jameis at 9-1. That's his third quarterback. So Jameis, Renfro, don't love that, but I do love that Dalton Schultz, Aaron Jones, Leonard Fournette, Deontay Johnson run there, and then the Kadarius Toney pick. Totally redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
And then so Lenny's definitely moved up a little bit, but he was kind of down in this tier with the Chase Edmonds of the world and the Connors of the world, where you could be building your depth at running back right in those positions. But you're probably going to get a nice if Tommy goes for 2 more years, you're probably going to get a nice 2-year run out of Lenny Fournette. Looking just like Tommy came to town and Lenny figured it out. He was like, "Yeah, I am great. Watch this shit."
Where did Lenny go here?
7-1.
That's fun. I mean, he went over Zeke. How do you feel about that? Love, and do you like Fournette and Zeke over Mitchell like that? But I mean, after ETN, I guess Dylan's probably for me shouldn't be in that tier. You got like ETN, Fournette, Zeke, Dylan.
Yeah, I would probably still
Carter,
take
Sanders.
Zeke over Lenny, but
Because it definitely falls off after Sanders.
I mean, that's a good question.
It definitely falls off after Sanders.
Yeah, Sanders, and then sometimes Hunt hangs around longer than Sanders, and you can still get Hunt's like one of the best
Hunt's
running
one of
back
the
values in the draft.
Yeah.
Connor, I think, depending on what Arizona does with the running back position in the draft, if it's hopefully it's 4th round or later, and Connor has a nice path to being.
They put some
pretty
draft
productive.
capital into a running back, though.
So we got Damian Harris, he and Stevenson. I mean, those guys could certainly eat in the 9th, 10th, 11th round. It's not the worst like W or RB3 to be having on your roster, I don't think.
You ever finish the end of a beer, Case?
Mm-mm.
You never drink the bat.
I almost never drink the last sip of a beer.
He's too good for like this part left. That's the best part. It's got all the backwash. It's got the flavor.
Listen, I'm doing well enough that I don't have to be subjected to, I'll take that back. If I'm slugging beers, then I'll probably drink that little bit because it's still fucking cold. But it's mostly because
it's too
temperature.
warm?
Yeah,
You're not drinking it fast enough.
Well, I mean, some beers are.
You're not drinking it fast enough. Don't be a.
If I'm slaying
Don't be
Busch
a
Lights,
loser.
then yeah, I might drink more last swallows than not. But
Swallows.
There goes Matt Ryan. So
finally,
scratch shirt up.
Wow, how about that? Totally
his squad.
redeemed
Boom!
himself.
What a move! What a
Wow.
move! And then Vengo takes Mariota. So he's kind of got he's got a revolving door there. You hope Mills can be your constant, and Trubisky and Mariota could be your revolving door. So they said, "Fuck you, Jason. Watch this. We'll be all right. We'll figure it out. Don't hate it because you ain't it." Then Rashad Penny at 212. Seahawks are going to absolutely run the dog shit out of the football, so I'm fine with taking that stab on Penny at any point, 10th round or later. I kind of enjoy that.
As bummed as you are for him not to get a fresh start, it probably could have been a lot worse.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Than to stay with the Seattle Seahawks.
So Brandon Cooks goes in the 12th round, which we're talking about maybe some trades, but man, Brandon Cooks just perennially underrated and perennially a value and staying right there.
Pick there. Who was that?
Matt Cisco.
Good pick, Mac.
We took Allen Robinson too, which I like that. He's about to have a big redemption year, a little redemption tour for A-Rob.
Yeah.
And then Baker Mayfield gets taken on the team with 5 quarterbacks, and so he's gonna roll out with Mayfield and Hurts.
That's Riles Juker.
At some point,
Riley.
I'll take the value on Mayfield and say, hey, there has been some good football. There's been some bad football. Who's it going to be? Then Sky Moore, which I love that pick. I think that's a nice snag there. Rondell.
Not a lot to watch on Sky Moore. How can you properly evaluate Sky Moore? Are the metrics pretty good? I don't remember. I know the athletics are pretty good, right? He did have a pretty good combine,
sure.
So
I haven't been playing.
So a lot of hype on some Sky Moores.
Haven't been
two
playing
wise.
Oh, he's fun to watch, man. I mean, there's stuff out there to watch. He's been pretty solid and not playing the position for a long time. So you loving what you're seeing from Sky Moore.
What was that?
Nice shot in the dark.
What was that
there.
one cat Henderson? That went to the Broncos and never really played.
Henderson.
Carlos Henderson, and then who came out with him? The other guy. It was like him and this other guy. You couldn't
Western
find
Kentucky.
Yeah,
Taywan Taylor.
Taywan Taylor. You couldn't find any tape of either of those guys. You just had to swing in the dark.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what you're kind of doing with Sky Moore.
Absolutely not.
And Pierre Strong.
Yeah, maybe more so Pierre Strong, but I don't think that's the case with Sky Moore.
There goes Alberto and Tanyan.
Yeah, Alberto. That's a great, nice stab by Fats there at the end.
Tanyan's got to have a redemption year too, right?
You would. What
happened last year?
He's back for a season. They re-upped him for a year, and they don't really have a ton of target competition right now. So you'd like to think Tanyan could get back in the fold. He got hurt, but wasn't good to start the season. That was
Bobby
missed on that one. Yeah, Big Bobby T.
He's
Calvin Ridley at 13-2.
What a great, Zach just piling it on. Jimmy G. What a fucking strong scoop. Jimmy G's going to be like the next Matt Ryan almost. Maybe not quite as good, but have maybe like Derek Carr. Then he's just going to have just sustained value.
Probably be around for a little while, and he's a nice backup emergency option for your.
Right. You don't want to be relying on Jimmy G, but if you can get him as your third quarterback or fourth, you might have him for the next 6 years.
This thing, ends with the Seahawks fan taking the new Seahawk and Drew Lock to round out his quarterbacks. Only 13 rounds here, so could get a little funky at the end. But we saw Christian Kirk go off the board here. I think that's pretty solid value at that point. Probably going to see a fair amount of targets, and has had spots where he's looked pretty good. And if he can get on the same page with Lawrence, I think they could maybe build a little chemistry.
Yeah, 13th round. That's awesome.
Anything else you really like here at the end? Trey McBride, Ronald Jones, Hendo, Rondell Moore. There's Kirk's out of there. Rondell's in. How about Tyler Lockett in the 11th round? I know you're a big Tyler Lockett guy.
Yeah, that's free Tyler Lockett.
You think that's too early on Robert Woods coming off the injury at 11?
Where's Bobby Woods at?
Right after Lockett.
I mean,
seems like it's probably a little early.
Maybe you take Brandon Cooks and Kirk over those guys.
I'm hoping that I can get Bobby Woods in the 14th round.
He'll fall. That's a lot of respect there from Big D on his name. I think he'll probably fall. But I mean, shit, none of these picks look that fucking fun. Like Alexander Madison, that's probably a nice swing, and Darrell Henderson.
Well, if you got Dalvin Cook, that's a great swing, which he does.
Right. Madison could get his own little shot here soon.
He's got another year.
Yeah. But then you have a really good asset going into another situation and maybe something up in the air. You could just capitalize on it before it even happens. It will have a little spike.
What's Mark Mexico here?
How do you feel like?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about Calvin Ridley there at the 13th round?
I mean, if it's not FFPC where it's like shorter rosters and stuff, I'm okay with stashing that guy on a bigger roster team right here and taking a swing. If you're over there saying, hey, none of these picks are that fun, take Calvin Ridley and sit him for a year, and hopefully he comes back and plays well for you. I mean, it's a shot that you're taking for somebody who was, probably being drafted in the 4th or 5th round. So yeah, I mean that's fine with me. Let's see here. Whose teams do we like?
You were going to say something about Mark Mexico here?
Well, yeah, I started. I like the team, and then you got Eckler and Carter, but then it kind of falls apart for me a little bit. I don't hate this Josh Allen, Stafford, Kelsey, Kamara, Deontay Johnson, Lenny, Aaron Jones. Probably could have done a little bit different receivers for me. I need another. I like Tony and I like Sky Moore. Maybe we would have swapped out Renfro for something different there.
Who could you? Anybody?
I love that Dalton.
Who would you have grabbed?
But he could start in tight end premium. You could flex Dalton Schultz, I think, and he's going to be crushing.
Who do you want over Renfro?
Let's see. Which way is Renfro going? I mean, he took Tony right after him.
Right.
I mean, I think
Gabe Davis and then John Dotson, Gallup,
probably
Lockett,
would have just
Woods.
Taking a swing
Brandon
on maybe
Cooks.
Another running back there, like a Chase Edmonds, or you could have taken
Chase
Tyler
is
Lockett.
long gone.
No, he's 11-6. I wouldn't have mind swinging on another rookie and then with a Dotson there.
Renfro.
Yeah, I mean, look, Renfro
Can't get a late first for
Renfro
anymore.
could be. I don't think so. I mean, not after
Which is where
Devontae
you're
Adams
taking
got there.
Jahan Dotson.
I like the Michael Gallup swing
Non-Superflex, obviously.
more than Hunter Renfro. I mean, and I could be eating these words, and Hunter Renfro is still doing his thing. But I could have waited another round or two and taken Cooks.
Renfro or Desmond Ridder.
I could have taken a swing on Ridder.
Then you have 4 quarterbacks and only 1 wide receiver, and your second wide receiver is Tony. I mean,
I liked Renfro as my second wide receiver a whole lot more when Devontae Adams wasn't there.
You could have taken Michael Thomas or Mooney over Jameis Winston and had those guys be your wide
I probably
receiver
wouldn't
too.
have taken Jameis Winston
Right.
there.
You sub in a wide receiver there for Jameis Winston, and then, I mean, you can still take Renfro and Tony.
I mean, you could have taken Cortland Sutton where you would have taken Jameis.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so like,
Nuh-uh.
yeah.
Where's Cortland at? Damn, Cortland Whitney and Jameis
10-7.
and Robinson.
Yeah, I like those are nice late round values for me that I'm going to try to get on every
Sutton,
team.
Robinson, Mike
Juju,
Williams, they got to move up.
I would have put Juju on my team over Winston.
Jameis, yeah.
But I do like that Dalton. I can't get away from that Dalton Schultz pick, man. That's a good pick. I really like that.
Yeah.
I like the way that Vetco finished up. He's got Justin Jefferson, Pitts. He's got a bunch of shots on quarterbacks. I know that's not your style and how you want to live. I would appreciate if that was me.
If you had one good quarterback,
one guy who you felt really really good about. Would make me feel a whole lot better.
He could have taken.
I would have taken.
He just missed Tua Mack and Derek Carr right in front of him.
I could have been fine with Kirk, D. Cousins at 5'12" there since
Instead
all
of
those
Kenneth
other guys
Walker.
went, and or
shoving him up right there,
right,
shoving him up right behind there because he's going to be,
or just gotten Matt Ryan a little later, and like maybe.
But that doesn't solve your one guy problem.
No, but it makes me feel better about my week in week out starter, and I do like the Davis Mills stab. I think. Yeah. He was a really high prospect and showed pretty well for what the hell was going on there in Houston. So
he's you got to take some rookie quarterbacks if you're going to take.
I could have put Mayfield on that team as well, like a little later, just to get yourself another quarterback.
Is Mayfield going to have a starting job this year?
I appreciate I don't know. So probably somewhere he'll figure it out.
At Cleveland, because they need him for like 6 to 8 games, don't they?
But it'd be. I forget who they got somebody else. I like what Scratch did. He's got Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. That's a nice start. Then he got Barkley, who's got the value. Dobbins, who's probably got some value on his name right now because for what we think he could do, he'll be up a few rounds, like I said. Then you got Derek Carr, who's surrounded by talent. Then you got ETN, a nice start throw. Keenan Allen, an OG to anchor you down. And then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, another stab who we're hoping to pay off. Danny Dimes, but then got Matt Ryan, and then Penny and Juju in there. So, like, I do kind of like that draft. I like the Tom Brady Tua draft. Najee, CMC, DK, Devontae, Montgomery, St. Brown. If Freiermuth isn't popping, maybe Albert O's popping. Mike Dubb just re-upped. Ramondre's a nice stab. Got Golf in there to, emergency QB you. So I like this. I like the Dak, Wentz, Tannehill team too. Like Jameson Williams, Waller, Dalvin Cook, Burks, McLaurin, Evans, Michael Thomas, couple OGs to anchor you down. Gallup coming back around. Then he's got Madison for Cook, and then Hendo's a shot. The Kyler Murray, Mark Andrews, Russell Wilson, JMW, he always puts out a strong a strong draft here. He really did the damn thing.
He never hits mock bottom.
No. He's got Murray, Andrews, Russell, DJ Moore, Cam Akers, Devontae, Pittman, Ayuk, Sutton, Harris, Edmonds, Hal as a third, and then Kirk. So, I like that draft a good bit. Nice bringing up the rear on some running backs that you could definitely get in your lineup. So, yeah, man, let's close up shop here. Let's get out of here. We'll be back with another edition of the FF Dynasty. Well, I got plenty more mocks planned. Superflex, rookie, non-rookie, one quarterback. We got a ton of guests to talk more rookies. We got after-draft rookies, pre-draft rookies, post-draft rookies. We got rookies everywhere, and then we'll be dissecting where the value is for rookies and non-rookies after the draft. So we'll catch you next time. We really, really appreciate y'all. Go to revelrybrewing.com, get a T-shirt.
Peace.